Hi everyone, it's your favourite atomic blonde here with my Doctor Who special Sunday lunch, talking about the Star Beast. Wow, what can I say? It's kind of, I don't even know where to begin. I guess in some ways it's kind of exactly what we were expecting. In other ways, just massively disappointing. Yeah, where to start? Okay, what did I like about the special? Obviously, David Tennant, Catherine Tate, great, slipped straight back into their roles. The chemistry's still there. You can just tell they're great friends off screen, on screen, you know. I love that the dynamic in the family is still the same. But her mum was obviously like mellowed a little bit, but she still doesn't go out of her way to compliment Donna. But she's definitely obviously that softer side because she's terrified about her remembering and dying. And that was quite sweet to see this, that there's actually some maternal instinct there from Sylvia. And Donna's husband I really liked Sean as well. I mean, he just seems to absolutely adore Donna, and we all know she deserved that, didn't she, after everything she's been through. So overall, that sort of thing, good. The actual story itself with the Meep, pretty obvious. I exited out, tweeted out, exited out, I don't know, before on Friday, that is like, well, I think it's pretty obvious that the Meep's the bad guy and the other guys are the good guys, and that's like, it's very predictable. That's exactly how it panned out. I've never read the Star Beast, never seen the comic, and I guess that was what was going on before the show even aired. So a bit disappointing there, but the production was fantastic. Obviously the Meep and that was great. The visual effects for it, whether it's sort of practical or CGI, I'm not sure, but or a mixture of the two. So we always knew the production value is going to be very good. Obviously, you can see they've got a bit more money than they used to have. All of that was great. Love the interior, the TARDIS. We've lost that stupid dead spider thing, and it's obviously, I think for the 60th, absolutely the right move. Sort of a little bit of a homage to the original TARDIS with all the white and the clean and going into the new era. So yeah, I really like the new TARDIS. That was great. I mean, the story itself, I guess, was probably a Doctor Who average at best, kind of. Well, let's focus on Tennant era. So if you look at the Tennant era, it's probably one of those sort of middling Tennant stories. You're like, it's all right, your Unicorn and the Wasp, or what else did we have? One of the kind of middling ones with Rose. Wasn't awful, wasn't great. Given it's the 60th special, yeah, didn't blow me away, which is a shame, especially if they're trying to get people to come back to the show. I don't think this is the episode that's going to do it at all. There was such a lovely, initially, this lovely wave of nostalgia when the Doctor comes out and he's in Camden and he sees Donna and she's always like, what? And then she starts calling out for Rose. And he's just like, what? I think they overused the whole what thing a little bit. Yes, that was his kind of catchphrase, but that was well overused. But it's a nice initial wave of nostalgia, and it was great to see. Like, yeah, I can imagine like David Tennant, it's like putting on a comfy pair of shoes, being the Doctor, and just slipped right back into it. And then it kind of, if you watched my pop chat on Friday, I talked about some of the reviews. We're talking about it being preachy, it facing into identity. So I was nervous going into this, and unfortunately, I wouldn't go as I didn't find it preachy per se. but cringe. I just found it so cringe. And I think the most unfortunate thing is, an ironic thing, the most meta thing Donna said right at the end of the episode was that, you know, Rose can't act for toffee and I don't know how to tell her. Never a true word spoken. I have to say that Yasmin just was a plank of wood. There was no chemistry between her and Catherine Tate or any of the characters playing her family. She was just so wooden. Like everything was kind of said quite monotone and, oh, yes, I'm binary, non-binary, I'm everything. It's like whatever. Yeah, and that's massively disappointing because all that really does is scream token hire. She clearly wasn't hired for her acting ability. And when she's up, you know, when you're acting around people like David Tennant, any weaknesses in your acting is going to be glaringly obvious, and it was. She really wasn't that good, and I'm really disappointed to say that because I was just hoping that, you know, she got hired for the right reasons and there was great chemistry and, you know, she'd earned her right to be in the show. And from that performance, she really didn't. And obviously Russell's come out to say, oh, she's going to be in future episodes because I loved working with her and she's a riot or whatever. And I'm sure she is. I mean, I'm sure she's a lovely person, but really does not deserve to be on the show with the acting caliber that she's acting opposite. So that was massively disappointing. I'm sure I'll get called a phobe for saying that she can't act, but hey, I'm just saying how I see it. And just, yeah, and there was just so many cringe moments. Again, like pointing like the doctor about pronouns when you're talking to an alien. It's like, seriously? We're going to have a pronoun conversation, finding out whether the meat's male or female. I mean, no need. There's just no need. And the whole bit at the end, sorry, this obviously spoilers, calling him a male representing Time Lord. No. He's a he. He's the doctor, right? And they thought of something a man never would, and we're just going to let go of the meta crisis. Well, why didn't Donna think of that last time rather than having her memory wiped? It was just lazy writing. He couldn't think of a better way to keep Donna alive, and we just had some stupid, trite nonsense of them just letting it go, something a man can't do. Oh, please. Cack. It was just so lazy and cringe. Yeah, massively disappointing. I expected more from Russell. I knew that some of this stuff was going to be in there, but the caliber of this guy's talent and writing, it was Chibnall level cringe, slapping you in the face. There was nothing subtle about it. It wasn't done any kind of allegory. It was just like, well, we should all be using pronouns, respecting pronouns, and I'm trans, non-binary because I've got a Time Lord consciousness in my brain. What? Okay. I mean, in some ways, I thought that was quite good, the way the whole shed thing and her toys, and it was all, and it did explain why she's got the name Rose, because I could not fathom that out at all. I was like, that just makes no sense. But some sort of subconscious thing from the meta crisis, that's why she chose Rose. I actually did like that explanation. But as for the letting go, oh, we're just going to let go of the meta crisis. We're just going to let the consciousness float off into the ether. Yeah, shit. Total shit. So, yeah, not great at all. I kind of watched it this morning. I watched it last night and I watched it this morning and just kind of just fast forward through the cringe bits. And actually, when you cut out all the cringe bits, like I say, the story's like kind of, yeah, it's okay. And feels like Doctor Who. It does actually run like a Doctor Who episode. But every time when you got these kind of cringe moments, it just completely, it lost the feel of the show. You know, it just wasn't done in a smart way at all. And I think Russell T Davies should be ashamed of himself, not for putting this stuff in, that's fine, whatever, but just doing it so ham-fistedly that, like you say, it's just lazy Chibnall writing. And he should, it's very, very disappointing. That's all I can say. I mean, it's I'm not chomping at the bit to see the next episode next week. After that, I mean, the only potential good thing is if it's just a Doctor and Donna episode, that we may not get all this cringe in it, because we don't have to be pointing things out every 5 minutes. You know, I don't know, but no, I'm not energized. I'm not. God, I can't wait to see the next special. This was just so average and cringe. And it gives me no faith at all about what we're going to get in Nshuti's episodes. Yeah, I really don't know how this is going to be received. I don't think the fans are going to be particularly happy, hardcore fans. My cousin is, you know, a complete normie when it comes to this stuff. She loved New Who, seasons 1 to 4, and the specials, but then she just kind of lost interest even when it got to Matt Smith, and she's really not watched it since Matt Smith. She's a huge David Tennant fan, and even that she was like, yeah, I'll get round to watching it. And it's just like, it says it all, she'll get round to it. She may not bother. But knowing that David Tennant coming back wasn't enough to make her watch it, she's got the same concerns. Is it just going to have loads of, like, you know, politics in it or ideology in it? And it did. Well, not loads, but, you know, ham-fistedly in there. So I'm pretty sure when I tell her that, she'll probably go, oh, I won't bother watching it then. But, you know, she might stick it on the background while she's doing her ironing or something, I don't know. But that, you know, that is not the way to get people back. I think the word of mouth isn't going to be great. And it's such a shame, because there were some parts of it that, like I say, really felt like Doctor Who. You had the music, you got David running around, and like I say, the bits with Donna, and she's like, you know, we saw it in the trailers, but she feels like she's lost something, and then at the end, like, you know, she's now got all these wonderful memories back, and they're off to see Wilf. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't see Bernard in this one. I assume we're going to see him in the last one. Yeah, you know, there's just some things that were very nostalgic, and it kind of really, I mean, the other stupid thing, right, was the whole ship. So the ship taking off, and I think it was a good way of, like, having to give her the consciousness back, and her going about, I gave all my money away. Very Donna, brilliant. But then when they stopped the ship, that somehow it reversed and all the roads sealed up again. I mean, why would that happen? There was nothing like magical about the ship that suddenly it would undo all the damage that it did. Again, lazy writing. It was like, well, you didn't explain why that happened or how that would happen. You know, the ship has just ripped open London, and then all of a sudden you stop the engines and it just resealed. It's just, you know, like, and it all just felt a bit rushed, because they say they wasted so much time doing these cringe moments of dialogue that the actual thing was quite rushed. And like I say, there was no explanation as to how things suddenly got fixed, or what, you know, because we have to get to that point where we point out that Rose is non-binary, because that's critical to the story. I mean, geez Louise, it's I just wanted this to be good so badly, and there were elements that were good. And like you say, if you fast forward through the cringe bits, like if you've got some editing software and you can go and snip all those bits out, it's probably quite a good episode. I just really thought that RTD would write a cleverer way of doing this stuff, and he didn't. Just go around going, you should use pronouns, and she's trans because of this, and it's just like, what? Okay, I guess. Thanks, RTD. Oh, yeah, but like I say, I think, you know, you just kind of just sets you up that, you know, you're gonna have a lot of like do you just feel like most of the shooty stories going about him traveling back in time and everybody being racist to him? Is that all we're gonna get? I don't know. It's and I think the next one, hopefully, you know, won't be set on Earth. And that's part of the problem. Like every bloody episode is set on Earth now. And yes, the original or the New Who did have a lot, obviously, on Earth and around Wales and Cardiff and stuff. But so many of them were, you know, proper time travel episodes, even though they were on Earth. But they actually went to other planets and met aliens. And now it's like every bloody episode. So I guess this one had to be set on Earth to be able to bring Donna back. But, and we know the last one's set on Earth. And so far what we've seen of Shooty, it seems to be lots of go back to the 60s and things. That's all Earth. I mean, God, let's hope we actually get some science fiction in our Doctor Who. That would be nice, you know, rather than just setting everything on Earth and commenting about Earth and commenting about our politics and commenting. It's like, who cares? I mean, I want some escapism. I don't want to be constantly looking at the world's problems in every bloody TV show I'm watching. I want to be able to switch off from the world's problems, not have them rammed in my face every 3 seconds. It's yeah, I mean, I've deliberately not watched any reviews yet, just to get my own thoughts out there and not be clouded by what anybody else is saying. So after this, I'm going to be jumping on YouTube, checking out obviously Type 40 channel and see what Gary had to say. I can imagine what Gary had to say. Yeah, I mean, some people are going to love it, and all power to you. All power to you. And if that helps you feel seen and represented and all of that nonsense, then good for you. I'm genuinely pleased that you felt, you know, if you felt you got something out of this and it's helped you with your identity and all of that. It's a very important thing, and I genuinely really hope that it has. But it just doesn't need to be done so in your face on Doctor Who. I mean, like I said, I've been watching a lot of Doctor Who episodes, classic and New Who. And New Who, say, it's always been Doctor Who's always been quite progressive, you know. Lots of stuff about climate, and we've had slavery with the Ood and all kinds of things. And just, you know, I've watched Doctor Who a lot anyway, but that's pretty much been my go-to over the last few weeks, getting back into all of this. And yeah, you can tell this stuff so much more clever and fun, and, you know, roll in that sci-fi element. This is just modern writing 101. You will think this. I'm going to point out, you know, how shit you are because you're a man. Oh, that line when they sort of say, oh, you know, again, around this whole just let it go because you're a male representing, and oh, if he was still a woman, you'd get it. Oh my God. Want to lob something at the screen. It's like, do me a favor. I did like the bit of the psychic paper, and it sort of said miss something, and he's like, catch up. That was quite cool. It's like a nod to that, you know, he's chased. The other thing I didn't understand, and maybe this is supposed to have happened off camera, I don't know, but that kind of shit really annoys me, is how does Donna know he's gone back to his old face? Yes, she got the Time Lord consciousness back, but surely that's a point in time, right? That's something that's in her head. It's not all the experiences that have happened to the Doctor since her memory was wiped. So how would she even know that he regenerated into Matt Smith and the others? Why would she know that? Now, I know obviously Time Lords have a basic sort of like telepathic, so are they like telepathically? Did he update her with this information that he's subsequently regenerated several times and now he's gone back to his old face? How would she know that? There needs to have been something where, you know, she's you could see the Time Lord consciousness and almost like a download of information of what's happened to the Doctor since she forgot him. That would make sense. But all it is they've reawakened this Time Lord consciousness that's buried in her brain. That doesn't mean she'd suddenly know that he's been like Matt Smith and Capaldi and Jodie. Lazy writing again. Why would she know that? So that really irritated me. It's like, explain it, or he needs to explain it to Donna, because he's going, you don't, because he needs to say, like, Donna, you don't understand. This isn't the version that you know. You know, I've become this person again. But all of a sudden she just seemed to know that, oh, you've got this face back. Well, you didn't even know that he'd regenerated. You know? So yeah, again, just like cutting corners, just skipping ahead, treating us like we're stupid. I mean, come on. I mean, Russell, more than anybody, and David being big fanboys of the show, no, the fans pick up on this stuff, and this stuff irritates the fans. You know, explain how her knowledge is caught up, or see the Doctor explain it, but not just through the ether. She just suddenly knows that he was a woman, and now he's got his old face back. I mean, what the hell? And the other thing as well, like, you know, we have this whole she can't remember, but then the Doctor's like running around in her house talking about having two hearts, and Sylvie's the only one sort of behaving like, Doctor, what the frick are you saying? Are you trying to make her remember? And he's just sitting there kind of looking at her like, what have I said? You know, at the start of the episode, he's absolutely terrified that he's going to kill his friend. And in the next scene, he turns up at the house. He's using the sonic screwdriver. All of a sudden, the sonic screwdriver can create these stupid bulletproof bits of... I mean, one of the reasons they got rid of the sonic screwdriver is because it got the Doctor out of all of these scrapes. It got overused. And then the first thing he does is come up with some bulletproof kind of shit so they can get upstairs and into the loft. I mean... And also, when did the sonic screwdriver change from the dildo? He just all of a sudden takes it out of his pocket and he's got like a normal sonic screwdriver rather than the dildo sonic screwdriver. When did that happen? And then at the end, like, obviously the TARDIS has changed, which I like, but it was always the Doctor changed the interior of the TARDIS. But now, like, the TARDIS just does it by itself. Okay, whatever, that's fine, and that's a minor thing. And like I say, I actually do actually really like the interior. And I loved how when he ran on, the first thing done was chuck the coat over the railing. It's almost like muscle memory, and it just comes in, boom, done it. Yeah, so, you know, disappointing and deflated, and really does not make me optimistic for the rest of the specials and the upcoming Shooty stories, which is such a shame, because actually I was really looking forward to Shooty and Millie. They have such great chemistry. When you see them, they're obviously being interviewed or they're asking each other questions, like, they seem to generally really get on, and there's just a lovely, you know, chemistry between them, and seeing that play out in episodes, I was really looking forward to that. But if this is the kind of ham-fistedness we're going to get in these episodes, I really feel sorry for them, because I think that the pair of them had the potential to be one of the great Doctor companions, you know, in the universe, you know, up there with, you know, say Doctor and Rose and Doctor and the Ponds, even though I wasn't a fan of the Ponds, you know, those kind of things. So yeah, only time will tell, but I'm really not gonna say go out of my way to watch it now, where I was actually really Looking forward to it. I'll watch the Christmas Day one because, well, hey, it's Christmas Day. There's nothing else to do, right? So, well, other than eat and drink. So I will be available to watch that. And obviously that will hopefully answer some of these questions around where's this going to go and how is he going to portray Ncuti and his storylines, I guess. Yeah, so middling, average episode, good production, some lovely scenes with Donna's family. And great to have Tennant back. Like I say, it just slipped straight back into the role. But could have done without all the cringe, really. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take my cringe glands removed. And try and muster some excitement for the next episode. Eek. Meep. Meep. Anywho, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to labour the point. I think you can tell how disappointed I am. Have a great weekend, and I will be back talking about the second special in a few weeks' time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.